Dear respected respondents, hello. We would like to give you a small brief about the 16 key attributes of circular supply chain before you begin to give your response on their interrelations. Without perceiving the essence of a thing, it is impossible to accomplish it. So circular economy concept internalization by stakeholders is found to be a key characteristic of circular supply chain. In a circular supply chain, brands or lead firms, businesses, manufacturing organizations, governments are well aware of the emergence of circular economy in response to the devastating impact of environmental degradation and resource scarcity, and the financial benefits like increased revenue and reduced costs that can be brought through circular economy in the distant future to make this transition from linear to circular in the RMG industry possible. Another key segment of circular supply chain is circular policies enactment. Planned system and environment make achievement of targeted outcomes affordable for most participants. Policy builder from different levels, for example, governments and international legislative institutions in pursuit of circular supply chain, removes the inherent hurdles to incubate this transition by establishing legislations like policy to be built with relevant standards, extended producer responsibility to assign liabilities of the end-of-use resources precisely, tax cuts and subsidies policy encouraging circular initiatives like launching e-commerce businesses and cleaner technologies, anti-planned obsolescence policy to uphold durable garments products, anti-data breach policy to ensure consumers' security and privacy while tracing products or components, policy restricting raw materials producing plastic microfibers in use stage, and policy to avail handy inputs empowering consumers to manage repairing of their clothes, similar to the right to repair policy in Europe. A business model, in fact even a non-profit organization, cannot sustain unless it can make money to disperse the payroll, pay debt and invest in the next time horizon. Circular business strategies is a key characteristic of circular supply chain. In a circular supply chain, there must be a first mover, for example brands or manufacturer, who introduces a circular business model with strategies about supply chain surplus throughout the supply chain. A circular RMG supply chain offers circular proposals, for example incentives in the returning end-of-use clothes, opportunity to repair clothes to save money, low-cost fashion transcriptions, product as a service model and peer-to-peer sharing. To afford high-quality clothing easily and establish circular network with key partners to reduce inventory, increase responsiveness and increase collection efficiency of end-of-use clothes and recycling efficiency of unusable clothes. Those strategies finally help to translate the potential of circular supply chain into financial gains in the long run. However, supply chain finance and relation-based finance based on dynamic earning model or cash flow type circular financing are the complementary strategies to solve the difficulty in finding required initial investments to run circular business models. Circular design for product and services is another important block of circular supply chain. Circular RMG supply chains create circular value by upcycling of end-of-use products, introducing design for circularity through increase of durability, monomaterial composition for easy recycling, introduction of easy to repair cloths, modular design, differentiation at the late stage of production, reusable packaging material. Circular design of clothing products ensures planned and purposeful use and collection of the pre and post-consumer garment waste to maintain circular flow of materials throughout the supply chain. The fifth key element of a circular supply chain is collaboration among supply chain actors. Collective efforts is the key to successfully implement a disruptive chain like circular supply chain in a systematic manner. Circular initiatives and strategies are fruitfully implemented by firstly aligning the business functions, secondly incorporating the horizontal collaboration, for example coordination of H&M and Zara focusing similar objectives towards one manufacturers for sustainability, and thirdly information and technology sharing among the entity organizations throughout the supply chain, reflecting a right balance of governance by means of coordination, negotiation, contracts and distribution of the ownership of products in the supply chain rather than specific supply chain actor using cloud computing platforms. Responsible materials and energy sourcing in the sixth crucial characteristics of circular supply chain. In circular supply chains, organizations source energy like electricity from renewables and nuclear energy, source raw materials like cotton dye from regenerative, safe and renewable sources, source intermediate materials like staples, zippers, tags, buttons from safe, refurbished and recycled materials to enable circularity in terms of materials and energy in the supply chain. Moreover, involved supply chain scientists and practitioners design their sourcing and consumption pattern to eliminate overstorage of of materials. The seventh essential element of circular supply chain is optimized forward and reverse flow of materials. In circular supply chain, omni-channel returning systems based on customer preference with optimized level of number of drop-off points and consolidation centers to gain economies of scale while collecting and sorting end-of-use and scrap materials are integrated into the logistics systems. Thus, in circular supply chain, while making decisions for locations of inbound and outbound logistics facilities like raw material collection points, distribution centers, retail and pickup points, both the forward and reverse logistics systems are designed to have optimized circular flow of materials, for example, clothing and packaging materials and fuel. Since those decisions are taken introducing mathematical recipes by building up complex analytical models by the supply chain scientists, impact of these decisions must be revisited and adjusted in case of unexpected events. Possession of robust and automated smart logistics system is considered as the 8th significant criterion for circular supply chain. Circular supply chain involves operationalization of both forward and reverse logistics system. Technological platforms like cloud, website, mobile apps, big data analytics, Internet of Things, RFID, GPS, blockchain and cyber physical systems ensure visibility and traceability of materials and fleets. This tracking back of materials and fleets supports waste analysis for circular design, product as a service business model and truckload and fuel efficiency, thus fostering circular supply chain. Circular supply chain is difficult to sustain its existence in a non-circular society since every business, especially RMG business, is inherently consumer oriented. Hence, societal shift of people in consumption and disposal is the 9th key characteristics of circular supply chain. Consumers valuing responsible consumption, peer-to-peer sharing, return of unusable clothes can be considered to be the last but the most important block constructing a circular supply chain. In addition, they can also participate in innovations in supply chain based on cloud computing platforms to express their feedback, ideas and recommendation to make RMG supply chain more circular. Circular textile economy restores and regenerates system of natural environment and avoid damaging the environment. Thus, the 10th attribute of circular supply chain is measurement of sustainability throughout the life cycle of products. Circularity in the supply chain is achieved by adopting different combination of strategies among reduce, reuse, refurbish, repair, remanufacture, recycle. Interestingly, these circular strategies can sometimes have rebound effect if not theoretically analyzed and practically monitored, thus deviating from the sole theme of circular supply chain. Life cycle assessment and resource efficiency calculations are the two common established metrics to theoretically investigate the environmental impact throughout the product's supply chain. Moreover, environmental management system, for example ISO 14001 EMS 2015, can help organizations to monitor their environmental footprint during their operation following life cycle assessment principle and move towards vertical and horizontal integration to reach all supply chain actors. Modifications in strategies are necessary because of the dynamic nature of circular supply chain involving numerous activities complex enough to draw any conclusion. Circular supply chains also uphold the societal and environmental cost in the pool costs of the production of their products and services while making decisions about RMG products visibility. Resilience in the supply chain is obviously would be a position of a circular supply chain. Those chains will reflect their resilience against disruptions and uncertainties. Since being shorter supply chain limited to a specific geography dependent on its own technical material flow, regenerating value to the customer. These chains are less dependent on nature or material and energy extraction, avoiding the chances of being affected with the price surge or availability crisis due to the political disturbance and disease epidemics, for example Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19 pandemic. However, with forward and reverse logistics with omni-channel returning system as well as operations involved in each entity organizations make circular supply chain inherently complex and dynamic in nature. Data and model-driven descriptive, predictive and prescriptive business analytics are applied in the circular supply chain to tackle those complexities. Additionally, circular supply chains are adaptive with the new potential technologies, making processes more circular, flexible to avoid damages due to the local and global disruption. The 12th important criterion for circular supply chain is symbiotic relation with other industries and communities. Reducing waste and value creation with unavoidable waste solely characterize a circular supply chain. Unusable waste stream from RMG supply chain can be useful for other production systems, or waste from other streams can be resourceful for RMG supply chain. In addition, collaboration with different organizations, for example innovator accelerators, network coordinators and communities, can be observed in most circular supply chains to strengthen its resource circularity and logistics operations. For ensuring consistency, safety and communication, different standards and certifications, for example, content claim standard, global recycled standard, recycled claim standard are required to be developed and spread effective implementation throughout the supply chain with the help of different for and non-profit organizations. Revolution in transportation and information technologies have transformed most supply chains into globally distributed supply chains. In RMG industry, raw materials are sourced from China, USA, India, Pakistan, and intermediate materials are sourced from China, India, going beyond their geographical boundaries for cloth manufacturing to optimize costs. One common trend in cloth brands is to manufacture heavily from low-cost solutions situated in emerging economies like Bangladesh, Vietnam, China, India, Turkey. Another trend is selling clothes in the secondary market in the developing countries after the first life happened in the developed countries. Thus, circular clothing supply chains naturally extend in different countries, and therefore alignment of circular policies globally is a crucial element of a circular supply chain. To amplify the convenience of supply chain entities manifesting circularity in their operations by balancing the governance, and to form a basis among countries for sharing different tacit technologies and providing finance solutions. Research and development innovations into actions is the 14th significant block of circular supply chain. A circular supply chain initiates and monitors use of alternative materials like hemp, flax modal, and engineered materials like nanomaterials that require significantly less resources. Application of technologies like new renewable technologies and nanocube technology, adoption of virtual 3D cloth design technology to dematerialize cloth prototyping, use of near-infrared spectroscopy to sort clothes while recycling or repurposing, dye using digital printing, enzymatic scoring, and plasma treatment, DICO technologies, incorporation of more developed and robust analytical tools and models. Circular supply chains seek for integrating these kinds of innovation solutions for efficient operations, increased feasibility, and reduced costs while reducing resource uses and upcycling wastes. Media and brand activism for sustainable marketing is the fifth important element of circular supply chain. Although customers and their choices dictate business's trajectory, emergency of a sustainable disruptive change like circular economy must be thoughtfully and massively highlighted to make a balance between hearing out customer demands and educating them about the moves by which their decision impacts towards sustainability. In circular supply chain, effort towards circularity are highlighted in social and electronic media by the brands to make it easier for consumers to perceive the change and progress towards change in their consumption decisions. In fact, these media heavily publish contents like blogs, advertisements, reports reflecting how individual consumption choices make a difference fighting against deteriorating environment and climate change. Furthermore, brands in circular supply chain provide guidelines that are easy to visualize and implement. On taking better care of clothing, highlight benefits of abiding those guidelines. The last but not the least, upskilling of human resource throughout the supply chain is a crucial element of circular supply chain. RMG production is human labor intensive in nature, and interestingly, only more skilled and smart human resource make it possible to establish circularity in the RMG supply chain to design, collect, sort, renew, repair, refurbish, remanufacture, recycle clothing, and even suggest an innovative practical idea. Therefore, brands with manufacturers supports initiative to deliver better working condition, learning as well as empowering programs towards their human resource existing throughout the supply chain.